If you're looking for all the answers, I don't have them. But what I do have is a particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people who mislead, misinform, or misrepresent the sports card industry. So if you don't do that, I'll let it go. That'll be all. But if you do, I'm going to talk about you. Guys, welcome to another episode of the Sports Card Investigator. My name is Andy, and I am so happy to be here with you today. So here we go. Here we go, guys. Before we know it, we're headed into some uncharted era of the NBA season. We're still under the cloud of COVID, unfortunately, but thank God help is on the way. The vaccines are coming and can't come soon enough. But this NBA season is going to be fraught with uncertainty and filled with buying and selling opportunities that no one is expecting. In fact, we are actually seeing this scenario play out during the preseason. We are seeing guys that are having good games in the preseason, fellas, that are hitting game winners and their cards are going up. So are we going to continue to see this in the regular season? No one can say for sure. But if I was a betting man, and I am, I would say yes. And if we are on our game going forward and we play our cards right, pun intended, then we can take advantage of this unprecedented time. They told me to go for the win. Don't try to tie it up, Kyle Guy said following his 114-113 win over the Warriors. They said they were ready to jump over the screen that's blocking the bench. When they said that, I knew I had to knock it down. The 23-year-old former Virginia star used a Chamizi Metu screen to get free from the Warriors rookie Nico Mannion, and then used a pump fake to get big man Caleb Weston off his feet. With just 0.0 seconds left on the clock, Guy released a 25-foot laser that swirled in the net and fell through. Despite it being a preseason game, the Kings bench stormed the court to congratulate the hero of the night. Let the John Stockton, Kyle Guy hype begin. For those of you who don't know, Kyle was the 55th overall pick in the 2019 draft. Kyle was drafted by the New York Knicks before traded to the Sacramento Kings. The Kings signed him to a two-way contract on July 7, 2019. Under the terms of the deal, he split time between the Kings and their NBA G League affiliate, the Stockton Kings. Kyle made his first NBA appearance on January 10, 2020 against the Milwaukee Bucks. Kyle played 3 games for the Kings and averaged 3 minutes and 1.3 points per game. So you can imagine, at that time, his cards were dirt cheap. So what happened? Fast forward to December 15th, a great day in the American life, December 15th, 2020, where Kyle Guy dropped a career-high 20 points. He made 6 3-pointers, including the game winner to top Golden State, 114-113. So Kyle Guy's cards after that preseason game began to climb. Who would have thought? In fact, to illustrate how crazy his cards went after he hit that game winner, Kyle Guy Panini Prism Silver PSA 10, the day after his miraculous shot, sold for $260. That's not a misprint. $260. Now, that's not crazy, but that is downright fiscally incoherent. Unless, of course, you're the seller, then you go. That same card back in April was $26. And as late as this October, $56. Let's go back in time. On March 18th, I was looking through eBay. I do it all the time. It's what I do, right? I'm sure you guys do it too. And I came across a lot of Kyle Guy's cards. Not a lot of, but a lot of Kyle Guy's cards. 2 silvers, a purple wave, a green, and some base prisms. I was getting the bulk sub together then, so I pulled the trigger. I knew who this Kyle Guy was. I knew him a little bit. but he was the 55th pick overall, I think. It was in the second round. He wasn't on my radar, but his cards were dirt cheap. So I picked them up. The purple looked good. The 2 silvers looked good, so I threw them in that last sub. In fact, if you go through that video, you can see them being scrolled through, 2 silvers and the purple wave. And as I do on cards that I am not going to grade, I'll send them to my son, and he puts together basically a humongous filing cabinet of every single rookie for that year. And we're going to get back to that. So I paid $10.50 for all those cards. And they are now, the 2 silvers and the purple, are now on their way to their forever home at a 30x profit. So, am I done with Kyle Guy? Not necessarily, because I think another opportunity may arise where I could buy him cheap again. Okay? But I think he will be cheap again. And why is that? Now remember, I'm not a talent evaluator, but I go to the guys are, and I go to their coaches. So I found this article that was written the day after, probably the day of, but it was printed the day after his game-winning shot. And it was from a gentleman by the name of James Ham, NBC Sports. And I'll give you the highlights, or the stuff that we're interested in. They interviewed Luke Walton, Kings coach, who immediately put some water on the fire that was the post-game celebration. Coach Walton said what he's doing is he's building confidence in his teammates and his coaches as far as trusting him. And I think that's why it's great that the NBA has gotten to this place now where you have 2 ways. You have the G League system. So maybe someone like Kyle, who's physically isn't ready last year, he's not even $170, guys, can spend a year and get a feel for it. Now, as the regular season is concerned, if we're fully healthy, remember that, important, fully healthy, there's probably not a lot of minutes for him. But if we're having an off night or guys are out, which they will be, he's someone that we can throw in there and count on, Walton said. Wasn't exactly a ringing endorsement, but it sounds like Kyle is going to get a chance as a contributor, maybe at the end of the rotation or maybe as an emergency fill-in, because we know we are entering the COVID era. So was it easy for me to sell him? Yep. And is it going to be easy for me to pick him up if he gets cheap again? Sure. I know there are no guarantees, but from an investigation and analysis, he's going to be cheaper at one point again. I just don't know when, but it's going to happen. And what the market is today, total reactionary, we're going to be able to capitalize on that going forward, and not just with Kyle. On Thursday, the NBA Board of Governors provided teams with an extra measure of help to counter shorthanded situation due to the COVID-19 pandemic. On Thursday, the board approved a plan to give the teams the ability to expand their roster on game nights from 13 players to 15 players for the 2021 season, a move being made in anticipation the likelihood teams will be missing players from time to time. In prior season, teams were permitted to carry 15 players, but only 13 could be activated during the game. An additional pair of roster spots, which going to apply to a lot of players out there that are on 2-way contracts, usually designated for prospects that spend much of their time with their G League affiliates. They will remain available as well. And there are a lot of teams that are opting out of the G League bubble. So players on that 2-way are likely to be with the NBA team for mostly the whole season. I think 45 or 50 games. So that's going to give these guys opportunities that they would never normally get fall into their lap. It's what they do with it and what they make of it is going to impact what we do. So now, because we're in a current climate we're in, not to mention load management and everything else, one of these guys, like I just said, is going to have a breakout game. And then you're going to hear all these content creators come in the day after and tell you, this guy is a buy, whoever it may be. Bruno Fernando, buy him now. He just went off for 24 points. We're going to be ready. At least we should be. We should be. So one of the questions I get all the time is, when is the best time to sell cards? Of course, it's impossible. I said in the beginning, I don't have all the answers, but I can give you my advice and information that I have gathered about that and what has worked for me and other people I know going forward. It's a strategy, and you have to judge the strategy by yourself and figure out if it will work for you. So when should we sell cards? Cards of who? That's the big question. Now, the first thing I'm going to tell you I think is a little controversial, but it shouldn't be. Right now in a box somewhere, you should have every single rookie from a year ago. Every one. You've graded some maybe that you think have potential to grow, and that's the kind of guys that, I talk about. You've seen them in my last video. You've seen the Cam Reddish, the RJ Barretts, the Eric Pascal, Brandon Clark. Go back, you can look at all those guys. They're there. Kobe White, they're all there. But those other guys that you don't have interest in, you should be having a stockpile of them, because this is where it will pay off. My son is phenomenal at this. He will go on and buy cards, and he'll tell me, and I'll say, look, I don't think it's a grade, and not, especially now for $15, I'm not going to go grade Gogo Batazzi's base card. But he's got them. He's got, you name it. He's got it. The Darius Baisley, he's got a box full. Taylor Horton Tucker came up. Oh, he's on eBay with 15, a lot of 15. So he's ready for this kind of thing. And if you want to take advantage of a situation like we're in now, you should be too. So again, it's a strategy for raw cards. You could definitely apply it to graded cards, but for the guys, we're not grading these guys, right? This is an opportunity-based strategy. And these guys now, they're actually a little pricey. Like if you go try to buy Kyle Guy now, or KZ Okapala, I can't think of his last name. Some of these guys that had Darius Baisley, they're pricey. So we should have been, this is our box of cards. And we should have been buying them. Some of these guys never had not, double negative, never had not a floor. I mean, some of these guys I was getting, when I was buying cards, I was getting these guys thrown in, right? You know who I'm talking about. And the market is so reactionary now that after one big game, people are going to pay for these cards. They already are. I'm not saying it's wrong. In fact, we should capitalize on this phenomenon. Lesser known rookies. Carson Edwards, Ty Jerome, Romeo Langford, Bruno Fernandez, Lucas Simonik, and the list goes on and on and on. But with the NBA changes, some of these guys are going to shine, even if it's for one game. And that's all it takes. That's all they need. We see it firsthand. It's insane. I think this season will be known as the Andy Warhol season. And again, a lot of you guys are younger than me. You don't know who Andy Warhol is. I mean, he's famous for painting a freaking Campbell soup can. But he once said that everyone in the world will have 15 minutes of fame. All these guys have that opportunity. All of them. And it's going to happen. It's already happening. Take advantage of it, because chances are that these one-game wonders are not going to be around for long. So we have to jump when the, strike when the iron is hot, or whatever cliche we want to put in there, because we got to get rid of these cards, unless you think that these guys have a future. Because at the end of the day, we don't want to be holding a lot of Anthony Bennett cards, right? Now it's up to us to monitor their progress if they get into a game. Okay, a lot of you guys, like, we have NBA League Pass, we're talking on the Discord. You always are watching the Discord, and then it'll flash on your phone. You'll see the big eyes, and it'll have a player's name. You'll look, and it's like he just went off for whatever it was, points, and people are like, whoa, is he a buy now? Those are the kind. And we have to also look at the media accounts of these games. SportsCenter, Bleacher Reports, House of Highlights. These guys are quick to it. They are our PR firm, and they're free, right? So when Kyle Guy hit that game winner, you would have thought he won the NBA championship. It was everywhere, right? And his cards reacted as if he did win the NBA championship, at least for the day or two after. So, when do we sell those guys? Exactly what I just said. They hit the big game. They get the opportunity. They get the chance. They're in the game. They're big. The game may not even be over yet, but get those cards, throw them on eBay, 24-hour auction, get it done, take advantage. Now, what about other types of guys? Not just those one-hit wonders, but how about the star rookies? Let's talk about guys like Ja Morant and Zion Williamson. Now, there's other guys you guys are high on that you may consider stars, and that's fine. You can plug and play anyone you want. That's your decision, okay? But for me, the two guys that I consider hitting the ground running as stars are Ja and Zion. I've been high on Ja from the beginning. Go back in my videos, we talk about that. So, if you think these guys are long-term holds, then by all means, hold them. I have a couple cards behind me of Ja and Zion that I'm not going to get rid of for a while. Maybe never. They might be ones that I'm just going to keep because maybe I see, a future, a really bright future for them. But if we're looking to take advantage and maybe sell some base Zion or base Ja, then these are things to look at, and it's common sense. If they are putting together a monster streak of games, if they are going to make the playoffs, maybe they make the All-Star team, these are all what I call price enhancers. And sometimes it just takes one big game, one dunk. It's possible. That's where we have to monitor. Get on whatever program you're using, Card Ladder, Market Movers, whatever it is, see what they're doing. Look on eBay, look at the prices, right? We have to always be on top of that. All the hypesters are going to be all over Zion from the start. I could tell you that right now. I'm taping this on a Saturday. I think it was yesterday night, Friday night. He played in the preseason game, 34 points in 31 minutes. His base Prism card, PSA 10, went from $732 on December 16th to $915 yesterday. His raw base went from $175 on 12/15 to $246, 12/18 yesterday. It's preseason, guys. It's preseason. I can't even imagine what's going to happen if he comes up and drops 35-15 on something with a couple monster dunks. It's going to be insane. So at which point is enough money? What do you have invested in these players? What do you want back? My good friend Brett from Stacking Slabs, he sells off cards because he is looking for his grail, the cards he wants. If you're doing something like that, take advantage. Take advantage of it. Now, what about rookies that maybe aren't at the pinnacle, but they're starters? Like guys that I like, right? Cam, RJ, Kobe White, Kendrick Dunn, Tyler Hero may be a sell now with all the hype surrounding him. I don't know. I mean, could you imagine what this kid is going to do if he comes out and just throws out some monster games? I mean, the hype around this kid is phenomenal. So there, I just, probably answer my own question is, I'll roll the dice. I'll see what he does coming out. Maybe if Miami's having a good season, this kid gets into playoffs a game, maybe his PSA 10 hits 500, 600. I don't know. But it's something to look at. And always think, I went back to this before, always think about what you paid for the card and what type of profit you're going to be happy with. And if the criteria is met to you, where you think you've made enough money, then you can sell it with no guilt and no reservations, right? That's what you have to think about. I've sold cards where I haven't even looked at what they are since because I don't care. I made my money, I made my profit margin, I'm happy, and I'm moving on. Can't live your life looking in the rearview mirror. You'll drive yourself crazy. What about role players? guys that aren't on that low, oh, I shouldn't say lower level, but not not the Kyle guys or the, Bruno Fernandos or the, whoever those guys are going to be. But guys like PJ Washington, Kevin Porter, and I like PJ Washington, so he might, you have to decide what tier he's in. But maybe that Kevin Porter, Brandon Clark I like too. But these guys are role players, right? So do I sell them after they have a big game or do I hold? Well, that's going to depend on your research and analysis. Because if your analysis says, and everything you're reading and you're looking at says, Brandon Clark is going to break into the starting lineup, and you see a continued progression in his game, then he may be a hold to see what happens. If a guy like Kevin Porter or maybe PJ Washington starts losing minutes, he starts to regress in his game, that might be something to think about. ABM, always be monitoring, right? It's just a matter of time before we hear a content creator show called Why I'm Buying Goga Batazzi. It's just a matter of time, right? And we're like, awesome. Pump them up because we're ready and we're going to sell them. And we're going to be ready for those situations. And we'll be ready to capitalize. And that's the name of the game. So that's my mindset for selling cards going into the regular season. I'm going to be back we'll try to do this weekly. I'm going to try to get this out before the regular season starts just to give you guys something to think. This is food for thought. Something to think about. It's not dead set rules. I will never come out here and say, go sell Tyler Hero before the season or whatever. No. This is just information, mindset, strategies that you can look at, agree with, disagree with. But always think about what we're going to do next. I can't wait for this season to start. I can't wait to come back and share some information with you guys that we're developing. Fantastic. I just love doing this. Please hit the subscribe. Please hit the like. And until next time, take care.